Okay, quick little video here. Darren, bestautodetailingtips.com. I'm inside a BMW 3 Series. Someone asked, how do you clean the gauges on the dashboard? Unfortunately, like so many other questions, it's an oversimplification, because really, when it comes to the dash and gauges, there's a lot of variables. So let me explain. We've got vents, we've got the buttons, we've got buttons that are commonly used, we've got dials that turn, you've got all kinds of, you've got the shifter, the steering wheel, there's all kinds of surfaces, materials, we've got leather, we've got textured vinyl or plastic, whatever you want to call it. We actually have a coating on the knobs that is a rubberized coating. It's also on the door panel. This BMWs are notorious for this material to start flaking off. This rubberized, it's like a hard plastic underneath with a rubberized material on top. It feels good, it looks cool, but it is prone to damage. So point is it's a matter of technique, and really this requires very little technique. It's more about the right tools. So I have different brushes that I use for dusting. You'll notice that not only are these different brushes, but they are different lengths. They are also made out of different materials. This is a woman's makeup brush. I use this on the more sensitive areas of the dash, like the screens of the nav system, whatever you want to call this, the information center, on the instrument cluster. Now this cluster actually has one piece of glass, or actually it's plastic, that covers the whole cluster. Like on the Porsches, they'll have individualized gauge with a cover over it, and then you have all the intricate areas around each gauge. So every car is going to be case by case. Now, a couple warning points is that the older the car is, the more sensitive you have to be. Now, if you've ever been to a car wash, they will have a little disclaimer that says we are not responsible for broken this or that. I always was perplexed by that, because I thought, well, geez, talk about a weasel clause or an escape clause. It's like basically you're not taking responsibility for anything. After I got into detailing, I understood why. Because not all manufacturers make things durable enough to actually clean them when they get dirty. So these buttons that are used by Johnny car owner can be so sensitive. Yeah, they work to use them, which is simply you just push them. But if you have, like, let's say a female driver that loves to goo up the makeup, and now this is covered in this white, gooey, oily mess, and you got to clean it, you've got to get pretty aggressive sometimes. So you just have to apply some common sense. Not all cars are made the same. Not all materials are made the same. The more you spend on the car, typically the higher quality you're going to get in the manufacturing process, as well as the material process. So you have to take that all into consideration and strategize the moment. So this dusting brush I use because it's got more firm or stiffer bristles that will break loose the dust that collects within the vents. And you'll notice that the bristles are much longer than the bristles on my makeup brush that I got at, like, you can get these at any store that sells cosmetics, whether it's Target, Walmart, Sephora, go down the list. I have a couple that are, actually I spent 90 bucks a piece because it's natural. This one I think was about $25, and it's made out of natural fibers. I don't remember what animal they hijacked these from, but you can spend some serious money on these, but they are very delicate, they're very soft, they will not scratch. So you get a high-end Rolls Royce or Bentley or whatever, and you're dusting off the wood veneer, let's say, this brush has the potential to do some scratching. This brush is very safe, gentle. Women actually use it on their face. So that's where you have to go into other industries and sometimes find the best tool. because you can go to all these websites that sell detail supplies and you won't find a high grade dusting brush like this. Now this was a $20 brush, which is pretty expensive for a detailing dusting brush, but it's very durable. It's the winning combination between being stiff and soft, so it's ideal to get in these deep crevasses of the vents. Same with up here, because right down in here you have a lip that will collect debris. So it's a matter of problem solving, strategizing, picking the right tool. As a cleaner on the inside, as a rule, I'm always going to reach for my all-purpose cleaner by Meguiar's. It's diluted, as a rule, for interior use, whether it's leather, vinyl, plastic, rubber, upholstery, cloth, velour, go down the list. I dilute it 10:1. 10 parts water, 1 part solution or concentrate. One of my favorite products. I put it on this damp end, and when I say damp, I have gotten this damp with water first, and then I spritz it very pretty heavily with my all-purpose cleaner. And now I go over the buttons and I rub them aggressive enough to do the job, but I don't get abusive, and I apply logic based on how the button normally operates. Does it push in and out? Does it shift up or down? Does it push in and out on this thing? This lever, control stalk, actually has a button that pushes in and out right there. It also moves up and down. So I got to clean inside here. You've got the shifter paddles that pull forward. You've got the the lights here. So there's certain buttons, like for example, this button, it is the turn indicator, so it gets more use than the other stock over here. So the point is you have to make a judgment call, because this is starting to get a white buildup from just body oils and whatever. So I will sit here and I will rub it aggressively, and making sure I'm not doing damage to the turn stock or lever or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the actual official term is, but it doesn't matter because I'm showing it to you firsthand. So I will rub it, I will grab it, I will rub the end of it until that residue of oils, body oils, hand oils, lotions, whatever you may find on there, stuff that maybe you don't even want to know about, and so ignorance in this moment sometimes is bliss, because some cars, I don't deal with too many, and I know some of you out, or some people made comments, it's like, wow, I wish all my cars came that clean. It's like, well, guess what? It's a choice. I didn't fall into this day one. It's taken me 25 years to get here, but yeah, I like cars that are clean. Do I know how to detail a filthy, stinking car that you feel like you have to wear a full body condom because you're afraid you're going to catch some disease? Yes, I do. I've detailed some of the dirtiest cars. I would not even let my dog in there. They're so dirty and that filthy. But at this point, about, and that's where my speech about being profitable and making detail, or my detail business, work for me, is the ability to attract the right customer. And that's this kind of customer, the customer that has a nice car, can afford my services, knows how to shop value, and it's not grunt work, So many of you would look at this and say, wow, what a walk in the park. It's like, well, yeah, you're right in a lot of ways. Of course, at this level, every little nuance of dirt is going to show because the car is that perfect. Anyhow, that's my short little lesson for the day. Probably not as short as you'd like, but once again, it's all about the details. Okay, back for the finished product of this BMW 3 Series. The very last thing I do, because as I talked about the clear lenses of either the navigation screen, the what do they call it? The infotainment center now, the instrument cluster. So I may dust down in here, and I will even wipe the face of it with a very clean microfiber that has been dampened with straight water. But my final wipe down will be this product, once again by Meguiar's Quick Interior Detailer. One of the viewers turned me on to this. I've become a big fan. I'm using the specialized microfiber. It's very thin and lightweight. I don't think you can get them at my website. All these other products, you can go to my website and check them out. So I will use this to wipe down the wood, because honestly, even if you use straight water, it's going to leave some form of residue or water spots or something. Now on the black vinyl or leather, those types of materials, it's not going to show. But on any type of like satin finish of the shifter or the wood veneer or the lenses of the instrument cluster or the nav screen, it's going to show. And you may look at it and it may be perfect, but that's where lighting comes in. Is suddenly the owner wanders into some bad lighting and your mistakes or your hastiness is displayed in full view, and that's what you don't want. So I use this as a final wipe down for all the wood, chrome, anything that's going to show any form of residue, water spots, you call it whatever you want. So that's it as far as the instrument cluster goes, the gauges, so forth. Until next time.